Hey, Shalom, Shalom, HaYawam to Wild, which is good day. Knock na waha a barish Allah walakim la tham call shaboy. Bahacha wakak shaw Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shah Ma'amat, which is truly hate with the Hebrew Israelites coming to you week in and week out through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shah to preach to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, Haitians, as life owners. Nachamatam Kayah Malakat Hashemayim Korah, repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Call Laim La Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shah Bahasham Racha Hakodash Wa Mashana Kabadim Zukaim Nawa Wa Malaakim Shaw Yeshala Zukaim Racha Gadawa Wa Chasa Wa Shalom Wa Brakim Laha Bacharim Shaw Ha Gawaya Shah Shalom. So all praise to the Most High Yahweh, which means he exists. Bahasham, in the name Yahweh Shah, delivers double honors to the elders and apostles of Israel, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and mercy, peace, and blessings to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom, which means peace. All right, this is Shamwat Exodus chapter 22 and verse 18, because we're going into the word of the day, HaDabar Shal HaYawam. All right, so it says, this is Shamwat Exodus chapter 22 and verse 18. It says, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. All right, so the word of the day is witch. All right, which it says Kashap. Kashap. All right, Marshana Kashap, to say again. So it says to practice witchcraft or sorcery, to use witchcraft. Sorcerer, sorceress, participle, says to whisper a spell, to enchant or practice magic. Sorcerer, use witchcraft. Says to pray, offer prayers or worship, this is left hand worship. It says words relating to worship. This also in Hebrew is restricted to the worship of idols, just reiterating the point. It says, and means to use enchantment, to use magical songs, to mutter. It says an enchanter, a magician. All right. So let's go deeper into the word and get the letters. So this is the word for witch or witchcraft, which is kashap. All right, it's spelled ka-sha-pa. All right, you got the connector between the sha and the pa. The ka, it stands for palm. All right, and then you got the tooth for sha, and then for pa you got a mouth. So the going to the definition of the word, all right, a summarization of the word is palm, tooth, and mouth. All right, and what it spiritually means is, let's go into it. So it says palm. When you look at your palm, it's curved. That's why spoon comes from the word palm, and I'm gonna actually get that. So let's go to palm, which stands for ka. All right, because kop is the word for the letter ka. All right, so let's go into that. This is the word for palm. It says kop. It says palm, hand, sole, palm of the hand, palm, hollow or flat of the hand, sole. It says bending objects, bent objects. All right, so things that bend. All right, those will be considered kop because it bends. Right here it says kop with suffix, that which is curved or hollow, from kapop. All right, so that which is curved. All right, that's the meaning that's going into, and the word witch. All right, which it all makes sense, Lord's will, in the end of the video. So it says sha. All right, so for teeth, let's go into teeth, which the word for that is shan. It's shan. So it says tooth, ivory of man. It says beast, tooth, tine, ivory as material of commerce, a sharp pointed rock. All right, because that symbolizes or it personifies a tooth, because your teeth are sharp. It says figuratively a cliff. All right, going into this, then it says it says a sharp rock from the resemblance to a tooth. All right, but when you go into this word tooth, all right, the root word HaDabar, the root word is shanan. All right, so shan carries the meaning. All right, when we think about teeth or tooth, shan, the word shan, HaDabar shan, the word shan, tooth, it carries the meanings that's inside the root word. You see, so your teeth, they're sharp. All right, they're whetted. All right, it says to sharpen, to teach incisively, to be pierced. All right, you can pierce something with your teeth. I'm gonna keep going. It says to point, transitive or intransitive, intensively, to pierce figuratively, to inculcate, prick, sharpen, teach diligently, wet. And when you go into inculcate, all right, I'm gonna read that. It says to sharpen a sword, metaphorically the tongue, to assail anyone with sharp sayings. It says sharpen of a weapon. It says to inculcate anything on anyone. When you inculcate something, pretty much you pushing it on them, or you're pressing it on them. You're piercing that into their mind. All right. So with that understanding, I'm gonna go back to HaDabar Kashap, the word Kashap, which is witch or witchcraft. So it says curve. So essentially what we get from palm is that which is curved. All right, then from Shah, we get the tooth, you see, but tooth carries the meaning of the root word shanan, which means to inculcate, or to put something, to press something, or to pierce something into the mind, to teach. All right. So we can get that last word. It says to speak, pa. All right, you speak with your mouth. The literal word for the letter is pa, but the word that correlates with pa is pa, actually, for the mouth. All right, so when we go into the meaning of it, that's why I have written here, when you go into curving, I can actually put curve right here, but bend, curve, it's synonymous. So when we look at the meaning of a witch, right, kashap, is to curve by pressing or piercing words. All right, what do I mean by this? All right, so to curve, all right, pretty much curving, the natural way of thinking. All right, that's essentially what witchcraft goes into, and that's essentially what Esau does, and that's what witches do. They curve how things operate. All right, so let's get some more understanding on that. Let me go to the word. This is Exodus chapter 22 and verse 18. It reads, it says, the word kashap, it says to practice witchcraft or sorcery, use witchcraft. I'm going to go down to Strong's definitions. It says to whisper or spell, to enchant or practice magic. All right, because again, all right, to use a spell or to practice magic, to enchant someone, let me get the word for enchant. I'm going to go to enchant. It says a feeling of great pleasure, to delight, the state of being under a spell, magic. All right, and that's essentially, what Esau does. The scriptures say that pretty much he uses deception as his right hand. All right, Psalms 144. All right, Psalms 144 and 8, and then also verse 11, if I'm not mistaken. All right, it goes into that, because he curves the truth. He curves reality, and makes it seem as if it's a delight or a pleasure. All right, we can get some precepts on that as well. But then right here, let me get another definition. So it says something that enchants, a magic spell. All right, because again, a whisperer, that's why the word power is used, because with your mouth you speak. All right, and I'm going to actually prove that. Let's go to that and get the word from mouth. Pa. It says mouth of a man. It says the mouth, Strong's definitions, whether literal or figurative, particularly speech, specifically edge, portion, or side, adverbally, according to, as according to, after appointment. It says sentence, skirt, sound, speech, spoken talk. All right. So when we spell out the word kashap, all right, ka, it goes into curving something. All right, sha, your teeth. All right, your teeth pierce things, you see, but when you go into the root word, it goes into inculcate, because you're piercing, which pierces the mind. All right, then it says, actually going into the piercing of the mind, they say things, or they push things, that pierces the minds of the masses, to where they like, oh shit, like, yeah, like you can actually do that. And I'm gonna get some precepts, Lord's willing, just going into that. And then it says pa, the last letter, all right, to speak, because they're enchanting spells by using words. All right, the word kashap, HaDabar, Shal, HaYawam, kashap. All right, Amar Shana, to say again, kashap. All right, so let's get some precepts on that and just proving that. So let's go to Barashith chapter 3, Genesis chapter 3. And we'll get verse 1. It says, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord power had made. And he said unto the woman, had the Most High said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden, which the serpent is a man. You see, and this goes into sorcery as well. This word nachash, all right? It says, I'm going to go to the root word. It says to practice divination, divine, observe signs, learn by experience, diligently observe, practice fortune telling, take as an omen. I'm going to skip down. It says to hiss, whisper a magic. All right. And we just got those that whisper songs and chant, use them words. That's why the pa is at the end of the word Kashap. HaDabar Shal Kashap or slop. HaDabar Kashap. All right. So it says generally to prognosticate, certainly divine enchanter, use enchantment. It says learn by experience, indeed diligently observe. You see, it says to hiss, to whisper, to practice enchantment, to use enchantment or to use sorcery. All right. Going back to the definition that we just got right here in Exodus. We'll go back to it. Salak, Exodus chapter 22. And we'll go down to verse 18. It says, practice witchcraft, use sorcery. It says to enchant or practice magic, whisper a spell. All right. It says to use enchantment, to use magical songs, to mutter. All right. An enchanter, a magician. All right. So essentially, in Esau's witchcraft, he essentially influences. He sensationalizes things, and he uses the emotions, and he uses the reality of the emotions to play on people's minds. All right, and those is not rooted. They essentially are taken in those traps. All right, and we'll see that in this example right here. This is Barashi, the Genesis chapter 3 and verse 1. It says, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. All right, let's get his word for subtle. Because the serpent, of course, he uses magic, just like it said. But then you go into this word subtle, it says HaYawam. HaYawam coming from Iram. It says subtle, shrewd, crafty, sly, sensible. Because he sensationalizes things, sensible. It says crafty, shrewd, sensible, prudent. It says cunning, usually in a bad sense, because you can be cunning on the right hand, you see. But then we got the definition of the word witch. All right. And it says to use prayers and worship. But then it said on the left hand side. You see, that's why it says usually in a bad sense right here. All right, HaYawam, it says cunning, usually in a bad sense, crafty, prudent, subtle. It says crafty. All right, so the meaning of this is in a bad sense. All right, so it says, and he said unto the woman, had the Most High said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden, which the trees is going into the men, the nations. It says, and the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, the Most High hath said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent, all right, the serpent, Hanachash, all right, the serpent, the diviner, the witch, all right, the witch said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. You see. It was some truth into what he said, but he put it into a way to where it played on the woman's emotions. He understood that the woman was the weaker vessel. That's why he didn't go to Adam. All right. So he sensationalized that saying. He said, ye shall not surely die. You see, because it was over a process of time, pretty much curving. Going back to the definition. Let's go to it. It says to curve by pressing, piercing words. So pretty much bending reality. All right. So when say you, for instance, you hungry. All right. What does Esau do? All right. He pretty much all right. So let me see. You obviously have to eat. OK, but you got to do it in moderation. All right. On the right hand side, we understand that we have to do it in moderation. You see, but Esau used that the saying that you have to eat. He'd turn it into feed your hunger. Feed your hunger. Have it your way. What else? You're not you when you're hangry. Bending the reality of a situation Instead of using the wisdom and operating on and doing the right thing, he'll sensationalize the reality and turn into something on the left hand. You see, he pretty much bends again the reality. All right, let's go. Let's get some more precepts. Let's get Isaiah Yeshaya chapter 19. We'll go to verse 14. All right, just going because again, this is the definition of the word, right? It says to curve by pressing, piercing words. Okay, so to say. All right. So this is Isaiah Yeshaya chapter 19 and verse 14. It says, the Lord hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in the work thereof, and every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. All right, let's get this word for perverse. So it says, HaYawam. All right, HaYawam, Amar Shana, HaYawam, to say again. So it says distorting, perverting, warping. All right. So essentially, when you warp something, you curve it, you bend it, all right, from what its natural use is. So it says depravities, perversities, all right. When you perverse, you pretty much you curving off the path of righteousness. So it says which is not suitable. All right. So due to prophecy, 2/3 in these heathen is in that perverse spirit. All right. The Lord has mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof. Let's go back. It says in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err. All right, let's go to this word err. It says it says to err, wander, go astray, stagger. It says to be led astray ethically, go off the path of righteousness. All right, let's go into this. It says to wander, to be deceived. All right, be deceived. They under witchcraft, under heavy enchantments, heavy spells. All right, so essentially witchcraft, those that practice witchcraft, all right, the witches, they essentially bend reality, all right, by whatever means and devices that they use, all right, i.e., songs, food, music, entertainment, and those that's not rooted, they're gonna be taken in that, you see. So let's keep going. All right, let's get Isaiah Yeshaya chapter 60. In verse 2, it says, for behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people, but the Lord shall rise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. All right, so gross darkness the people. Let's go into the word darkness. Because they're essentially under heavy enchantments. It says darkness, obscurity, secret place. It says misery, figuratively, destruction, death, ignorance, sorrow, wickedness, obscurity. All right, figuratively, that's what it represents because they're under those heavy enchantments. They're in the obscure place because they're under those enchantments. They're subscribing to those enchantments because going into the meaning of the word witch or witchcraft. All right, the shah in that word goes into pierce. All right, something that's sharp. All right, because essentially what Esau has done on the left hand side. All right, he's pierced the minds of the people. Therefore, they in the gross darkness. All right, so let's go into the root word. So it says to become dark, grow dim, be darkened. It says to confuse, in a heavy state of confusion. All right, they're essentially under that spell. Let's go back. Let me see. Let's get 1 Samuel, which is 1 Samuel chapter 15, and we get verse 23. So a reason says, for rebellion is as a sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, he hath also rejected thee from being king. All right, so rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. All right. So who's most rebellious? You see, let's go into that. Let's get I believe it's in Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 21. This is going into Babylon. It says, go up against the land of Marathayim, Bahalash Wam Kadash in the holy tongue, Marathayim, all right, which goes into double rebellion. And rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. And who rebels the most? Who does the most witchcraft? All right, Babylon. Who's under that? Who's under the heavy spells? So like, who's under the heavy spells? Babylon. double rebellion. You see, and it's also it also lines up that they're under the most witchcraft in the world. You know, the people are the most confused in America, Babylon the Great. All right, that's why it says double rebellion. All right, and that's why the scriptures say. I'm gonna read this real fast. It says, "Go up against the land of Marathayim, even against it, and against the inhabitants of Pakwawad, waste and utterly destroy after them, saith the Lord, and do according to all that according to all that I have commanded thee." All right, and what's essentially going to happen to America, Babylon the Great in this time? You see, I'm going to go into the word Pakwawad. Pakwawad. All right. So it reads, it says, Pakwawad, visitation. All right, and is not America, Babylon the Great going to be visited? Going into the definition of this word, it says a symbolic name for Babylon, punishment, because she's going to be rewarded according to her works. All right, let's get that. This is Revelation chapter 18. Let's get verse 5. So it says, "For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double according to her works." Marathayim, double rebellion. All right. "And the cup which she hath filled to her double." All right. Rebellion is as a sin of witchcraft. All right. And again, it lines up that this place is most rebellious. All right. Then also they're under those heavy enchantments. You see, so they're going to be rewarded double. Marathayim, for the rebelliousness that America, Babylon the Great has pushed throughout all the world. All right. Those heavy enchantments, those heavy sorceries, those heavy atrocities, pretty much. You know, but again, Amar Shana to say again, HaDabar Shal HaYawam, the word of the day was Kashap, which is witch or witchcraft. All right, and essentially, how these things take place is through those that practice those divinations, those sorceries, those soothsayers, and et cetera, et cetera. All right, they curve or bend by piercing and pressing words. All right, using those enchantments and the magical songs and them spells, whisper them spells, you know. All right, so HaDabar Ratazaza Bana Yapa, Lord's will. That was a beautiful edification through the spirit. Wa HaDabar Rataza Atham Yashi Wam Tawab. A Lord's will, you all have a good day. Wa Yahawah Mahar. Godspeed. A Shalom, Shalom. HaYawam Tawab, which is a good day. Shalom.